Brent is demonstrating one of his favorite techniques for creating effective flies with lots of movement and bulk with a sparse amount of material. This sample fly Brent has tied using the EP fibers for this dubbing brush, as well as Marabou, clearly demonstrates the movement and size created very easily with this technique.
Good day, everyone. Welcome to another segment of On the Bench. Today I'm going to show you how to tie or spin up a dubbing brush. I've been tying for years on my Norvise. I demonstrate all my flies in the Norvise, and I've got a lot of people asking, well, how do I do that with a regular standard vise that's stationary? I've been directing a lot of people to go get themselves a dubbing block. Now, I went online the other day just to see where you could buy them, and I couldn't find any online for some reason. You can see where you can build them. They're just simply a block of wood with a little bit of a groove in them, and a little spinner on one end and a hook on the other. And I'm going to show you another quick way of doing things right here on your bench. So I'll get the materials out of the way here for a minute, and we'll wrap up a wire dubbing brush, which is one of my favorite techniques for flies. Now, what I've got here is I've taken some foam. I've just stacked foam here. It basically comes up to the arbor, the center of my cordless drill here, and I have a small hook in the end of my drill, and you can run the wire through that. And also on the other end, I've got a little rubber grommet. You buy this in a hardware store, no problem at all. Get my flash out of the way. You can use dubbing brush wire. I use a lot of that on my Norvise. I got a really good feel when I'm feeling it in my hands. I'm doing everything with my hands, but when you bring an electric drill in, it kind of changes the equation a little bit. You don't feel the tension quite as much. So what I want to do here is I'm using a extra small UTC wire, and I'm going to go around the grommet here, the washer, rubber washer, whatever you want to call it. And I'll come back through the drill, and I'll have my wire right here. You can see it right on top of the foam. Grab me some work pliers. We'll just use a couple different colors of, this is Enrico EP fibers by Enrico Pelleguzzi. Great stuff. It's been around a long time. It makes great brushes and great flies. His streamers were infamous for many years and still are. It's one of the great patterns of all saltwater for sure, and many other species, but definitely a very well-known saltwater fly. We see any of these little odds and end fibers, we don't want them getting caught up. So I'll take the smaller ones. We're going to start on this side with our brush. Make sure the fibers are spread out nice and thin, and just lay them across right in the middle of the wire. We're going to have the same material coming off each side, kind of like a double brush. And sometimes we'll want the butts, say on hair or something like that. I'll just want the butt be there. But we'll do those techniques with some of these other materials as we go along. I'll do a few more little short video clips for you there with different materials. Now we want to maybe make it a little more interesting. Just grab some flash out of the bag here. And I'll just sprinkle that on. And you can make it longer or shorter, however you want. Now let's bring some hot pink. Don't need too much of that. Make sure you pull the whole hank out of the bag, because if you pull it out of the end, it's going to be a nightmare. It can get really nasty. We're going to trim that again for our brush. Now the brush idea is a great concept. The way I like it is you can put a lot of, it looks like you got a lot of material on there when you don't. And you get a lot of body. The body looks very bulky and pushes a lot of water, and you're using these materials like this that shed water. You got a fly that's very, very easily thrown with, you can throw a big fly with an 8-weight, no problem. So put my pink right in here over top like so in the same manner. I'll bring in, how about trying some little holographic silver? That's always an interesting one like that. Just put a little, just a wee little bit on top. Don't need too much. And some of the fibers here, we'll put a little more in the front. That's good. There. Holographic is always nice. Now, if you have trouble, so we're going to trap the materials in between the wire that is under the material now and the wire that's going to go over the material, and bring my bobbin back over here. Now, if you keep the bobbin and the both wires tight, the material will stay put, no problem. If you have trouble with the slipping, just put a little dubbing wax on that wire right there. Come down to the end. I'm just going to pull this block out a little bit so I can get my wire. So I've got my wire pinched right here in my fingers. It's together, and it's together down here. So we got to, if you want to straighten out any of these materials, you just do so now. Okay, it's a good time to do it. Everything looks good, and then I can start spinning this nice and slow. You're going to see the material now is going to start wanting to find its way up and turn into a brush. Now we don't want to get too much pressure on there. You'll see that flash and everything's coming in there quite nice. Okay. Well, folks, here we are. We have the hook and the vise. We'll take our dubbing brush we just created here, and we'll brush it out on this hook. It's the easiest place to start working with it. I'll tie a fly while we're at it. I'm just going to add a little white marabou here for the tail. Wrap her body down. Dubbing brushes make such nice bodies. We put flash on that and so forth. We won't go into that, but now I'll bring my dubbing brush, tie that wire down, and then bring it back over itself. Cut it with the inside of your scissors, not the tips, okay? Now, bring my brush. Make sure we brush this out good. Try to get that all in the picture for you. Get a wide angle, you should be able to see it all. So there we got our fibers all spread out. I'm just going to hand over hand this. I'm not going to use the Nor vise. I'm just going to show you what we're going to do with the stationary vise. As we go along, we just keep preening this back. Bring my thread up, tie off position. Wrapping our bodies. Now you can go a little thinner if you wanted with the bodies and have your underbody show through if you wanted to. Now back to the materials. Sometimes it get a little bit of a blank spot there. You just keep working with this, but it just want to make sure the fibers don't get bound down. Now we're getting up to the other coloration. Pink is starting to show up. We got about a third of that coming up. Come back. You can use a brush a little more, but I just seem to bring it back with my hands. And then I'll bring in a vodka needle here in a minute. So you'll see that flash and everything working right through the EP fibers. And we'll come right to the head. Near the head. Tie it off, cut with the inside of the pliers again. Don't damage your scissors. Bring my vodka needle in. Then we can just pluck this out. Nice and long fibers, eh? It's really good. From all sides. That looks very good. And that really breathes. Not a lot of material on there, as I showed you a little bit I cut off. Got the little bit I took out of those hank from the materials, but look how nice and full that is. What a nice big body. Nice and thick. Really got a lot of character to it. I got some other marabou here, you know, I can put a little collar on that while we're at it, take a blood quill. I tie mine, I'll show you. I'm working with blood quill plumes. I take as thick as I can right at the tip here, and I tie that in 90 degrees perpendicular from the shank of the hook. And that stem is going to see, it just barely wants to turn around that shank. And that's going to create a foundation for this breathable marabou. And a lot of our jig flies, jig tactics were tied this way. And then I'll just tie off the tip. And that in the water is deadly. That is, can't express how great that is. So that's, see how it wants to pulsate? In the water, when it's under pressure, it will pull back. This really breathes well. That little fly right there, I like to say, will be easy to throw, and a color combination that will catch almost any species you want to throw it at. And like I say, it does not take much of a rod to throw that fly. Big and bulky, it's a 3/0 hook right there. So got all kinds of opportunities. We appreciate you tuning in today, and we'll catch you again. I'm going to do a lot more segments here of different brushes, how to make different types of brushes. And it's quite exciting. I like tying with brushes a lot because I know how well they work. And like I say, a little bit of material goes a long, long way, but it creates so much bulk and breathability. These flies breathe really, really well. Depends on your materials too. So you want to make sure you select the right materials. We'll keep following here. I'm going to keep putting these segments out for more dubbing brushes. Thanks again for watching, and all the best in your fly tying travels.
We appreciate Brent for sharing with us today. Subscribe for more fly fishing videos and pro tips. Take care and conserve the waters.